And now, your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Mr. Dye, how are you, sir?
What up, my man? Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Holidays. I think Happy Holidays covers it all, right?
Yeah, that covers it all. That's very inclusive.
All the holidays.
How was your holiday, sir? Yeah, even Easter.
It was very good and
What'd
very
you do?
fun. I served some food to the homeless people at the Laugh Factory. Then I went to the Lakers game, and then at night I performed at the Comedy Store. So it was a pretty eventful Christmas. What'd you do?
We went to Hawaii. We
Nice.
go there about twice a year. That's my favorite place in the whole world. It's my kids' favorite place in the whole world. It's my wife's favorite place in the whole world, minus like going like on a European vacation. We love it there because it's warm and the water's warm, and we have friends who live there, a lot of them. And so we got to spend Christmas Eve with our dear friends. One of them's a chef, so you know the dinner was popping. Then we got to see some other friends of ours that live more inland. I don't want to say where we were at in Hawaii. Just know we were in Hawaii, and it was dope. I went canoeing in the ocean and then went for a nice snorkel and saw some manta rays in the daytime, which doesn't happen a lot. And they were at like their cleaning station, which is just, an area where they go and like clean themselves. But they call it a cleaning station. And we saw eagle rays and swam with those fools. They kind of look like flat penguins. We saw eels and turtles, tortugas. We saw everything, man. And we brought this family out there that had never been. And the daughter was super scared. She was the youngest. Her older brother just popped right in. She was super nervous, and she didn't want to get out by the time it was over. Like, she loved the water. She became a fish. She was like, Mom, I'm a mermaid. I'm a mermaid. And everyone's like, yeah, you're a mermaid. She got to see all these crazy creatures from the sea. She tried new foods for the first time, sushi and all kinds of yummy food, because Uncle Freddie made it cool and fun. So she tried everything, even stuff she didn't like. Got some smooches with the wife on New Year's, which is always a good thing. Danced with my daughter, which is always fun because she's getting older, and I was hoping that'd still be cool and not lame, and I was still cool, so that was good. And I watched a little bit of wrestling while I was out there, and then caught all up when I got back. Had one hell of a flight home. But Henry Winkler was on the airplane, so I knew we were going to land safely because he's like the nicest dude in the world. And if you killed Henry Winkler, God, you're a son of a bitch. So he didn't. He's a good God, and we landed safely. Yeah, man, I'm ready for a beautiful day here in Southern California, a little break from the rain. I think it's going to come back tomorrow, but while we talk wrestling, it's sunny skies, and I'm feeling good. I'm really happy that every year you do, well, not even every year, you quite often feed the homeless and do good things, and I'm always glad to hear that, and I like that you share that with our listeners too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what it's like to travel on the holidays. I mean, Hawaii's a long trip.
It's a 5-hour flight. It's quicker coming home, but when you land, it's 2 hours earlier, so you don't feel like you lost a whole day. And, oh, dude, I learned this game called Mexican Train. Have you ever played Mexican Train?
No, it's a board game or something?
It's a domino game.
Okay.
And it's tons of fun. There's a bunch of people listening right now that all just yelled Mexican Train because they love this game and know. Apparently, I was one of the last people. It's been around a long time. I sat down and played with my kids and the people who came with us, and we had an absolute blast playing that game. So they're not paying me to tell you this. I didn't get a free one, but you guys can go on whatever shopping website you go on, search Mexican Train. It's not racist. It's called Mexican Train.
It sounds sexual.
Buy this game. It's not sexual or racist.
Sounds like
it's just an awesome domino game. I think you guys will all love it. That was also what I did over the holiday weekend. All right, dude. You know what wrestlers do over the holiday, Jeff?
It's travel, workout.
That's right. And they wrestle and they work and they cut promos because they don't get any days off. Let's talk some Monday Night Raw.
Let's do it.
Came on December 29th from the Kia Center in Orlando, Florida. The final Raw of 2025. It was built, our producer wrote this, it was built around steaks, but not steaks like steak and lobster, which is always delicious. Steaks like high stakes gambling, like Dana White does with blackjack because he's fearless and rich. But this closed the year with a title change. They sort of recentered the top heel faction, and they started laying down some tracks for the Raw Stranger Things episode on January 5th, which I don't know how they're going to pull that one out.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, okay, let's do. Because I don't think it's going to work in any way, shape, or form. I don't think
so.
this
For the
crossover
people
stuff
listening,
ever
they're
does.
theming the whole night as like a Stranger Things episode of Raw. To which, I'm a very reasonable and good man. I'm a good man. God loves me and shows me favor. I'm a gentleman. And so I'll say respectfully, what are we doing? What are we doing, Freddie? Most people just want to watch wrestling. When we see a wrestler come out and he's themed like a video game or something, wearing like a thing or a tribute to some sort of Marvel comic that came out that week, I roll my eyes, and that's just one match. That's just one, like tag match where they got paid by a online video game to dress the Montez Ford up like Borderlands or whatever the thing is. You're going to make a whole episode based on a show that most people don't give a shit about? Like, this is going to be, I don't know how they're going to pull this off. What do you think?
I have no idea how they're going to pull this off. I'll be real with you. I don't really watch television that much. I've never seen Stranger Things. I watch UFC. I watch football. I watch live sports, basically, and professional wrestling. And movies. I love going to the movies. And Netflix, some of us still like going to the movies. But yeah, I have no idea how they're pulling this off. I just want to be able to watch wrestling on their app a few minutes late and not have to, and be able to start it from the beginning. Like, you can't even do that yet. You have to just wait until the show's over and then you can watch it again. You were saying before the show started, wrestling's so hard to watch now. Yeah, it is. Maybe not for young people who are sick with apps, but for maybe us older gentlemen or middle-aged gentlemen, it's a little tricky, all right? So give us a fucking break and help us watch some goddamn wrestling. But I
also think that maybe even young people are having trouble finding it because it's so hard to find that, like, I'm talking about like young kids, like 10 years old or 8 years old, like that. Yeah. They're not real tech savvy necessarily when it's jumping to different things or having a VPN. They don't know how to do any of that stuff. So it's very frustrating. I was saying with Alex, our producer, like, remember when they had the gobbledygook or the big chicken that came out? Like, do you think it's going to be like that? Like, I'm the demigorg. And then they take the head off and it's Hall of Famer Pete Rose, rest in peace. Like, who's gonna? What are we doing? What is gonna be?
I'm gonna keep an open mind, okay? Because I love wrestling, so I'm gonna keep an open mind. However, I have no idea how they're gonna pull it off.
You want to talk about a cash grab? That's what this is. This is a cash grab. Them just being like,
but it's
Netflix
because they're on the same.
They're
on the same network, so I don't think they're getting extra cash from Netflix. It's just like, yo, hook us up. The same way like they ask us on my Cultura, or they've asked me to like do like another podcast within the network, right? But I don't get paid for that. I'm just like showing love and putting other people over, so to speak, and they're putting me over on their podcast.
But it's part of that big deal they signed. They're like, hey, we signed this big deal, but you're gonna have to do dumb shit like pretend one of the wrestlers is a demigorg.
Is that what Stranger Things is? It's like
there's a monster
like
called
Dungeons and Dragons.
Big flower-headed thing. Looks like
I've never seen it. So
I think you're really not going to enjoy the episode if you're not even getting it.
All right, you guys, go grab a snack, or don't. Take a pee instead, and come right back. All right, so we agree on the Stranger Things episode. We're keeping an open mind, but what the hell? But a lot did happen. The Usos, they got rid of any doubt of them falling apart. They pulled it together. Their twins are back, and they are now the World Tag Team Champions once again, and rightfully so. I liked the solo runs for both of them. I liked where Jimmy was injured most of his, but I liked what they did with Jay. But these gentlemen belong together. I'm glad to see them back together. It brings a lot of good tag matches back. It puts good promos now in the tag matches because both of them can talk in way different ways, which is kind of cool. Even though they're twins, their personalities are night and day. So I think that's good for the tag team division. We recentered the vision, Jeff. We got Logan Paul and Austin Theory in there now. And Paul Heyman cut a wicked promo about how great they're going to be. And they're not just the future, they're the now. A lot of stuff happened in the women's division. We'll get into that too. And we're going to get into it all right now. First off, Paul Heyman reintroduced the vision. That's Braun Breaker, one of Jeff's favorites. And he was early on Braun. Bronson Reed, one of Jeff's favorites. And he was earlier on Bronson than he was even on Braun. Logan Paul, who I feel like you've always been supportive of. You've always dug his matches, yeah. And now Austin Theory, who this will be the test to see if this dude can make it. He's gotten opportunities before. The crowd didn't seem to like it the way they hated when Vince put his arm around Roman Reigns and was like, this is the guy. They hated Roman Reigns. It wasn't until he earned it in the fans' eyes, and then they got behind him and made him, the second greatest of all time, I guess, and seen as the greatest of all time. But this is his opportunity. They've given him Paul Heyman, who can not only speak for him now when need be, can also teach and groom and instruct him on how to construct the type of promos that people want to see and hear, and how to tell the right story that's going to build into your match, and how to build up to these matches, the storylines behind them. Heyman's back there helping these cats, write their stories in the writer's room, and helping these cats, give notes to the writers if they don't like something. Like that's what this man's doing back there is helping talent. So this will be his chance to get over. I'm excited to see it. I like Austin Theory. He's a good looking dude. He's got the body. I like the body guys. I liked Ravishing Rick Rude. I thought he was the best body guy ever. Austin Theory's biceps are friggin' jacked. He's super jacked. He just needs some grooming on the microphone. He needs a little help there, and I think they got the right guy to do it. What about you? How did you feel about the segment, sir? And what are your thoughts on Mr. Theory?
I love the vision. Like you said, I love all those guys, and leave it to Paul Heyman to create this great stable of bad guys who are just all the future of the business. What I will say about this storyline with Austin Theory is with the mask, and then him revealing himself and saying that he wanted to prove himself before anyone knew who he was. And then he's also like a little jacked, like a little stronger than before. Like at least he appears to be. I don't know if they've done this a lot and I'm just unaware of it, but in the olden days, if you're an evil dentist named Isaac Yankem and the gimmick just isn't over, Vince and the team, Bruce and all those guys, they would kind of try to find something that works for you and then reintroduce you as like this whole new person. And now you're supposed to forget about Isaac Yankem. Now you're supposed to be like, no, that's the second Undertaker, or that's Kane, his little brother. And they're always like repitching or repackaging the same guy as a totally different guy. Whereas this story is, listen, I was Austin Theory and I was a little comfortable, and now I'm reinventing myself. Not wrestling, not Triple H, not Vince. I'm reinventing myself, and I'm going to prove it to Paul. I'm going to prove it to the universe that I got too comfy and I'm coming out and I'm a new guy. And I don't know if they've done that before, but it's making me believe in Austin Theory, that I'm like, yes, go out there and like go out and get it and work. I feel that in comedy, like I'm going to prove myself. And so like them showing us Austin trying to reinvent himself and prove himself makes it compelling to me. And then you put him in a stable with my favorite guys and my favorite all-time guy on the mic, Paul Heyman. I think we've got a good recipe for success.
I love that. If he can prove it to Heyman, he can prove it to everybody. That's a cool story. I keep
waiting for them to turn on somebody. That's what I can't believe it hasn't.
They're gonna punk somebody out for sure. Eventually, it'll be if someone's not working, or if they can just come up with a cool story that makes it that way, then they'll do that. But yeah, somebody's gonna get punked. Speaking of punk, didn't even mean to do that. He crashed the ceremony, bro. Did a little face to face with Braun Breaker. And he framed this week's World Heavyweight title, and it was a test of readiness versus hunger. And Punk was very subtle. He knows Braun Breaker's ready, but Punk isn't ready to let go of the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. I said this a long time ago on the podcast. I'm not betting against CM Punk. But man, have they set this up to bet against CM Punk. They have made people believe that Braun Breaker is going to win this thing that he is already going to be the world heavyweight champion long before anybody originally thought he would, long before the Seth Rollins injury. And now the belt's on Punk. And this is why, if you want to bet against him, you should. Because it could be a placeholder because of the Rollins injury. This was, I think, initially is the right word, going to be Braun Breaker taking on Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship by turning on Seth the way the Judgment Day turned on Edge back in the day. Back in the day. It wasn't that long ago. I think that was the original story with Braun. And then Seth gets hurt, which friggin' sucks balls. And Braun Breaker now doesn't have that guy to go after, so enters CM Punk. He gets the World Heavyweight Championship. That's a great moment. This could mean they're going to put it on Braun so that when Seth comes back, they get that story that they originally had planned, only now the shoe's on the other foot with Braun as the champion and Seth is the one chasing. He's not even allowed back into the Vision because they're like, yo, we don't need you. We got Heyman. We're the bomb. You're not. Deal with it. So if you wanted to bet against CM Punk, now would be the time. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not betting against CM Punk. I don't think that dude likes losing world titles, and I don't think he wants to lose it just yet. What were your thoughts on how this all went down and where it's going to go?
I don't know where it's going to go. I'm always famously bad at predicting this stuff, but I think I like CM Punk when he's chippy. I like him when he's pissed off back there, when he's a guy, he's starting little, always making jabs and I feel like we only get that CM Punk when he's not the guy. When he's the guy, he's all of a sudden Mr. Corporate, shaking Triple H's hand and hugging guys and saying, like he's CM Pop right now, he's CM Popular, and he loves it. He gets to be the guy. And I've got the AJ Lee's my wife and we say what's right and we wear rainbow boots and we talk about, political issues. We're such good people. It's like, I want Punk. I want CM Punk, the guy I want Pipe Bomb Punk. I want choking Jack Perry Punk. And so maybe we take the strap off of him, put it on Braun Breaker, and we get that chippy, edgy, chasing a championship Punk back. And that's what I'm hoping for. Because I love Braun Breaker. I've also never seen a wrestler push the narrative of, I'm tired of you guys all calling me the future. I'm the now, which is a great line and a great thing, but also to complain that everyone believes in you as the future is such a good twist for a bad guy.
How dare you say I'm the man, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I'll punch you right in the face if you ever call me a Hall of Famer again.
Oh, also maybe if anybody from wrestling's listening, which I feel like they always are, when is some wrestler going to acknowledge that every wrestler is fighting for their family? So like when CM Punk was like talking trash about Braun Breaker's dad and uncle, which are the Steiner brothers, then the next week Braun came out and was like, don't you ever talk about my family, right? But then like CM Punk is like, don't you talk about my beautiful wife. And then you have Becky Lynch go, don't talk about my hot husband. And Tiffy Time saying, don't talk, or don't bring up Ludwig Kaiser in your DMs. And then Charlotte going, don't talk about my ex-husbands. And then Nikki Bella going, don't bring up John Cena. It's like, listen, you all have families in this thing. So like they should acknowledge, like someone should say, listen, this ain't personal. We all have families. We're all fighting for them. Like, because they use it so much as like an annoying storyline that it's like someone should acknowledge that, like, we know we're all bringing up I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's annoying. It's annoying to me.
I'm with you. All right, you guys. The Women's World Championship, Stephanie Vaquer. Which now this was an easy one to pick. She wasn't going to lose. They put the belt on her for a specific reason, which we've gotten into. They're not taking it off her yet. No way, no day. But she wrestled against Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez. She won that shit. I don't know what people want out of Nikki Bella, but I think she's doing what she wants to do and what the company wants her to do as well. I don't think she's there to win championships this run. I don't think she should be there to win championships this run. She looks fantastic. She's got the rust off from that first match that she had with, I think it was Becky Lynch. The timing was better. But if she's there to win championships, I don't think that's that's good. I think she's there to put over other talent and look great while she's doing it. So I know there's some people online that are like, well, why is she there if she's not going to win? She's just going to job. I think the older wrestlers are there, and their responsibility is to put the new people over and give them an opportunity to become stars and give them some credibility by beating them. So I was glad Stephanie Vaquero won. And I like Nikki a lot, but I don't think she's there to win championships, to be the women's world champion. No way, dude. No way. If she was, then Becky Lynch wouldn't be losing to Maxine Dupree. Like, straight up. Like, there's no reason for Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch didn't even come back. She's been there, and she's losing to young people. So yeah, everybody should be following that Becky Lynch move and doing this. That's what I felt about it, Jeff. What about you?
Nikki Bella has never looked better. She is in fantastic shape. She looks
straight up
very, very impressive. She's somehow aging in reverse. She's whatever. But I am so out on this version of Nikki Bella. The coming out and trying to be like, I am the best there ever was, and you guys need to respect me. I don't buy it. I don't like it. It's very, I think they tried to push it on us too quick. Like, oh, she turned on her already. And like, then like, I don't really buy her as like a mean girl like that. Like, it just feels very one-dimensional. I'm out on this whole new version of Nikki Bella. And unless they really change something up soon, I think it's all garbage. So I hope she keeps losing.
Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree, which I think is a superior story to the one we were just discussing. Mm-hmm. Becky's really pushed this off camera as well through social media, really given herself a ton of motivation as to why she hates Maxine and to how she didn't tap and all this. Not all of it worked, but she's committed to the gimmick, so I respect that. She finally had her moment with Maxine in the ring where she's like, look, you're bullshit, I'm the real deal, and we're going to prove it, and everybody's going to see that you're just a little punk-ass biatch, and Maxine Dupree wasn't having it. Becky walks out the ring. She's like, you'll see. And by the time this episode comes out, we'll either be crowning a new champion. No, we won't. Or Maxine will be continuing to be the world champion and be put on that pedestal that Becky has placed her on. That's what's going to happen. But I like this one, whereas I didn't really, I'm like you. I haven't cared for, I feel like everything's been rushed with Nikki.
Yeah,
and there was no need to. And I also think she should have come in and stayed babyface and allowed people to celebrate her instead of being heel and demanding to be celebrated. Like, everybody's like, girl, you look great. You never look better. Like, every wrestler, every podcaster, like, everybody's throwing flowers at her. And she's like, you know, show me some respect. We're like, no, we are. Everybody really thinks you're cool, so just be cool. Whereas
seems
this
like
story
she's
has been
doing
much longer.
The Gunther. You know, Gunther just beat her guy, and now she's coming out and kind of acting like Gunther, standing on the table and going, respect me. And everyone's like, where did this come from? What the hell's wrong with you? Like, it feels very weird.
Yeah, and people didn't like heel John Cena, and I don't think they're going to go for heel Nikki Bella. I think we want to see her as a babyface. Now I don't know how they get there. But, you know, she's putting people over and making them look good, so respect. All right, so we got that one. We got the Usos, and they defeated AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. And I'm only bringing this match up because it's now time to figure out what happens with AJ Styles and the end of his career and what he's going to do with it. And there's been a lot of hinting that this will be the final year. Well, step one was to get the tag team titles off of him. Step two is to split up him and Dragon Lee, and I think they'll have an amicable split, meaning it'll be nice, and they'll be like, hey, man, we did our best. I always got your back. Yeah, me too, brother. Right on. I hope they re-sign you. Yeah, me too. That'll be the promo written word for word. It should be. They should talk about real stuff, even though they won't. And then AJ can move on to singles. And I guess the place that you take him, if it's sooner rather than later, is Gunther. And you give them a couple matches where AJ almost gets the first one, but Gunther does something shady when the ref can't see it, and everyone's like, oh, if only AJ would have got it. And then in the next match, Gunther can beat him and send him off, and then AJ retires. But I think that's too quick. So I don't know. I'm excited to see the story they're going to give him because I feel like they respect AJ enough to give him the quality storyline that he deserves on a top tier, not a mid-card goodbye. I don't think that's a proper goodbye for AJ Styles. He should be on the top shelf where the good liquor is, where you want your cocktails mixed from. You don't want that BS bottom shelf, vodka in your martini. You want some good shit. And that's what AJ Styles is. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing. They could do the Gunther thing and spread it out. I don't I don't quite know how, but they're better at that shit than I am. So yeah, so that's what I think about it, Jeff.
I like it. I agree. I agree with Freddie.
Ha! See? Whether you agree or not, I already got one. All right, people. Let's move on to SmackDown. But before we do, let's pay some bills. You guys can go grab a snack or get super mad and write us about how there's too many commercials. We'll take it either way. See you in a second. Welcome back to Wrestling with Friends, Wrestling with Freddie. There'll be no Thursday episode because we're giving you a nice, long, lengthy, full episode that'll get all of your juices flowing, your wrestling juices flowing. And we're talking WWE SmackDown. January 2nd, 2026 from the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. So you know it was as cold as a witch's titty. That's what my grandpa used to say. He was from West Virginia. He'd say that man's hard as hickory wood. Or that's as cold as or slick as snot. He used to say, that's as slick as snot, Freddie. Be careful. All right, here we go. First SmackDown of 2026 returned to a 3-hour format because USA doesn't have much quality programming and really needed the other hour. Also, YouTube TV makes it really difficult to watch these things. Again, I'm bitching about technology, but I'm about to go back to DirecTV where life was simpler. Anyway, we saw Randy Orton's surprise re-entry into wrestling. Just chilling in a t-shirt, looking about 300 pounds of jacked muscle. He's bigger than he's ever been in his life. The dude's an absolute statue. We saw Trick Williams from NXT stepping onto the main roster and clashing with my secret Royal Rumble winning pick, Sammy Zayn, who cut a promo talking about, well, we can get into that in a second. Julia, who spells her name interestingly, she reclaimed the women's U.S. title, and Carmelo Hayes got his first defense. I love Carmelo Hayes as a U.S. champion, by the way. It took a long time, but that's okay. He went through a lot of trials and tribulations along that path, so it feels like he's really earned it. I love that. And we got a brutal ambulance match between Damian Priest, who's been real quiet in the wrestling scene. There hasn't been a lot of story for Damian Priest. We haven't talked about him much, but he threw Aleister Black off an ambulance, through a table, and then threw him into the ambulance, and he looked like a stud. And then Drew McIntyre taunted Cody Rhodes by burning a photo. Not the best taunt, Jeff, but we're going to get into all of it right friggin' now. All right. First, the return of Randy. Chapter 1, the return of Randy. SmackDown opened with The Miz hijacking the show to unload his 2025 grievances, much like I should have done at the top of this show. Unloaded all my wrestling grievances on y'all. Cena's retirement tour, that sucked. Locker room disrespect, F you guys. You guys are going to call me tiny and say I got no balls, fuck you too. All of a sudden, Randy Orton's music hits. Boom, he comes out to the stage looking humongous. He RKO'd him twice, got everybody feeling good, and the show got to start over with a positive feeling. And then backstage, he runs into Cody Rhodes, and he's like, yo, man, you know I love you, even though you had a weird mustache when you were dashing Cody Rhodes. I think you're super cool, but you have gold, and I got a chance to beat all the records because I'm still young enough to do it, and I'm coming after that belt. And he could end up being the one with the most title reigns, even more than John Cena, even more than Ric Flair. I don't know. It could happen. He's still young enough. He's healthy. We don't know. But Cody was like, yo, man, I feel you. But, you know, he's looking at him like, I'm the man now. You're not the man. You're the old man. So anyway, Jeff, Randy Orton's back. And I'm feeling good. How about you, sir?
I'm very excited about it. Randy Orton is one of those dudes where, you know how they did this big whole retirement thing for John Cena? I feel like they should, this is the guy that should have gotten all that, you know? His dad was a wrestler. He was, you know, he's been in there forever. Randy Orton is a huge part of wrestling. I feel like he gets forgot about for months at a time. You know, especially at this point in his career, like people are like, why isn't he wearing the belt instead of CM Punk? Mm-hmm. Why isn't he the top guy, in my opinion? Big fan. I've liked him almost, you know, ever since he broke Freddie Prinze Jr.'s back on that one episode.
Fuck is that?
No, that's the only time I didn't like him. No, but he's the best. It's always good to see him come back. It seems strange how many times we are like, oh, Randy Orton's back. It seems like a weird thing to be feeling for a guy that big. But I'm happy to see him, so I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Next up, friend of the show and a buddy of mine, Mr. Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
Mr. Zack Ryder himself, formerly known as Zack Ryder, FKA, reintroduced himself with a decisive Rough Rider over Kit Wilson and a quick reboot that telegraphs Cardona as a utility player who can plug into mid-card stories immediately. Our producer, Alex, wrote that. And I have to say, it's a very accurate and kind of awesome way to discuss Cardona, because I don't think Triple H is putting the World Heavyweight Championship around Matt's waist. I don't think anybody's thinking that. But I've always wondered why the hell Matt's not on the friggin' roster, because what he was doing in the Indies was awesome. Awesome. And a ton of fun. And the way he developed his character was awesome. Awesome. I'll say it again. And I was like, yo, when are they re-signing this guy? What's up, AEW? Like, sign this dude. Matt didn't think that AEW had a ton of love for him and for his style. So I'm like, well, then WWE has to. And then I was like, okay, I guess they're all about NXT. So that's what it is. And that's true. But they brought Matt back. And I think they brought him back to build him up real quick, put him in these like US and intercontinental type mixes, and then put the young guy over and make the young guy look great so that they can see if they have something in this, young raw talent. And you can make a ton of money doing that. And you can be on the roster for years and years doing that. The Miz didn't win a single match in 2025. Not a single match. And The Miz is getting paid in the shade because he can talk his ass off and he makes people look great when he loses. So I see a similar path for Matt Cardona if he's down for that. He beat Kit Wilson's ass. So suck on that, Kit Wilson. I don't know. I'm probably more of a Cardona guy than most people. But I just like the dude, and I was glad to see him back. I don't know if you had any thoughts on him or not, but I just wanted to throw that in there.
I think he's awesome. I think he's great. And I'd like to see him. I was just given that thing about Austin Theory reinventing himself, and that was part of the storyline. Whereas Matt Cardona had to go reinvent himself on the indies. And he took responsibility and said, hey, listen, people are just going to think of me as this guy who was once in wrestling, who now has like a podcast about toys. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to sit at tables and sign 8x10s about when I was in wrestling. And I think a lot of wrestling fans thought of him that way. Oh, that's Zack Ryder. That's the weird, where he was like, no, I still got it. I can still do this. And he proved it by going out and working on all these things. And now wrestling brought him back. And maybe guys like Freddie Prinze Jr. or maybe you guys listening might see him as somebody as like, well, he can be put in these mid-card things and he can put young guys over the way Miz is doing. But just maybe Matt Cardona in his brain is going, nope, I can still be Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can reinvent myself even more to be the star. Put me in a feud with LA Knight. We go back and forth. We're kind of similar guys. And maybe I could win over an audience.
I would love that.
Maybe sky's the limit for Matt Cardona. Maybe we go, holy crap, like this is the dude. So I'm very, very optimistic about what he can do because he's kind of proved himself in a way that I haven't seen any other wrestlers ever do on the indies. Making yourself king of the indies, what a cool ass title. Like what a cool way to make the indies sound like one group. Like just to make everything that he won be like, well, awesome. I'm the king of that. And that sounds way cooler than being the king of WWE. To be like these gritty indie shows. I'm a house guy, like just to own it. I'm really impressed with what he did, and I'd like to see him, become a main guy in WWE.
What's cooler, King of the Indies or King of the Ring?
King of the Indies.
100%.
Yeah, way cool.
King of the Ring's whack, bro. King of the Indies is cool as shit.
King of the Rings, it's like kind of just one annual thing.
It ain't even a pay-per-view because it's not even cool enough to be a pay-per-view. It was on regular TV every single time it was on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, King of the Rings, whack. Xavier Woods was a cool king, but other than that, William Regal was a cool king.
Macho.
Other than that, they all look goofy. Macho King was cool, but most of them look goofy with the crown, man. It just doesn't play, dude. All right. I've talked about Sammy Zayn. 12 years it's been start-stop with this dude. I think it's finally time to get him the run. And I said this, Royal Rumble, Victor, Sammy Zayn. Mark my words, it's going to happen. Carmelo Hayes beat Johnny Gargano. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because Tommaso Ciampa says he's leaving WWE when his contract's up. I don't know what that's going to mean for Gargano. I know they gave him a single shot when he first got pulled up from NXT. Triple H gave him a shot, so maybe they can, re-emphasize that plan. But sometimes when your tag team partner leaves, you're kind of lost, and you're like Captain America in that comic book, Man Without a Country, when all the wars are fought, and what good are you now? So that can happen too. So I'm a little worried there. I like Johnny. I think he's really good in there. I think he puts guys over well. I think he plays the small guy role really well and doesn't try to wrestle like a big dude. He wrestles like a small dude who can just take a good beating, and he uses technique to get out of it. So I hope that things go well for him. But yeah, it looks like Ciampa's gonna take off at the end of this. Jeff, what do you think about all that?
I love Sami Zayn. I just don't know if that's. I don't know if what you think is going to happen is really going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's going to.
I mean, it's been how long? What, 12 years? 13 years?
12 years.
Yeah.
12.
So I'm interested. I see a bright future for Trick Williams. I like Trick Williams. I don't know. I just
Come
don't
on,
know.
man. He can't put over Trick. He can't put over. I'll be so mad if he puts over. Look, I know he had a man bun in that backstage segment, but you can't judge him on that. You can't judge him on that.
I think he's there to put over Trick Williams, kind of the way you were talking about Sami Zayn or Matt Cardona. Like, so I think that's what I'm predicting, but we'll see.
As the young kids say, you yucked my yum.
I didn't mean to.
Well, you did. All right. We have the 3 stages of hell. Drew McIntyre revealed the stipulations for the match. First is a singles match, so he can just prove to Cody that he's the superior wrestler. Burn in your face. Second is falls count anywhere. So he's going to give Cody anything he wants to use because that's how much more superior he is than him. And he's going to beat his ass, and he's going to beat him there, so he won't even need the third stipulation. But just in case some shenanigans happen, because Drew's always getting screwed over, according to Drew, even though he's kind of right. The final match is a steel cage, an old school one. It's going to be, the toughest dude in there is going to win the match. So here's the thing. They're always thinking of creative ways for Drew to get screwed and for Drew to lose. But eventually it's going to hurt him, right? So if you're wanting to bet against Cody, that's the philosophy you take. Like they don't want to weaken the Drew character, and he's lost so many friggin' times. And even when he wins, he loses because then he gets screwed by CM Punk. That said, I wouldn't bet against Cody Rhodes. You're not going to see a heel Cody Rhodes. Everyone's like, "Oh, this will be the match that turns him heel." You're not seeing that, man. You're not seeing a bad guy Cody Rhodes. He's the face of the company. He's the one doing the Make-A-Wishes now. Like it's not going to happen. He's a good dude now. So I think he beats Drew, even though Drew burned a photograph. Oh, Jeff, he burned a photo. If somebody wanted to start a fight with me and took a picture of my dad, right? Like the only picture that we had taken together, it was like in the newspapers. It was me as a baby on his chest. Very emotional photograph. It's the only one I got. Oh, it's the only photo I got, man. Oh, if somebody wanted to fight me and they burned that photograph, I'd be like, dude, what? That's the stupidest shit I've ever. I don't want to fight you, bro.
You, huh?
I don't give a shit, man. If you talked some shit about him and you were like, yo, your dad wasn't shit, I'd be like, come over here and say that to my food. But if you burn the photo, that's not getting me scared for 3 stages of hell. Yeah. Like that, to me, he should have like burned the bus or something like that, like lit Cody's bus on fire when he was standing in front of it. Deal. You know what I mean? But of course that costs money, and they're not trying to spend that kind of money. But that would have been cooler to me than burning the photo. But yeah, man, I'm still hyped to see the match. 3 stages of hell is going to be awesome. The first match will be super cool. The second match will be like, come on, get to the steel cage. But then they'll get to the steel cage and everyone will bleed, and the ring will be just covered in crimson red. It'll be like that weird Guillermo del Toro movie. And it didn't really work. Nobody saw it because he gave away the ghost in the first 10 minutes. But all his other movies are super cool. But yeah, man, it'll be covered in blood, and we'll get all 3. Sorry for the Guillermo del Toro sidetrack there. It's just reminded me of a weird movie that he did. But yeah, man, I still like the segment because I like Drew on the microphone. I just didn't get the burning of the photo and how angry that would make him. I mean, I guess maybe if it was like the framed photo from my house, that means like you broke into my house and you took like the actual photo and burned, then I'd be pissed. But this was just like a printer photo. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it wasn't the photo. So that's why I was like,
or maybe if it was the Brood and they set the photo on fire and that's some sort of voodoo message, or they put a curse on you or something, Like
I like that. I like that a lot.
Gangrel's got a picture of him.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some sort of thing, connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about that brood take. We're talking AEW Dynamite. We're bringing the show home. It was December 31st. What a great day to wrestle, December 31st. No days off for professional wrestlers. It sucks, but they love what they do. They came from Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Omaha, Nebraska. Good town. I think Chris Klein is from there. I worked with Chris Klein. He's a good dude.
Warren Buffett's from there.
Hey, Warren Buffett. I haven't met Warren Buffett, so I don't know about him, but Chris was a cool dude. All right, here we go. Before we get into the week of wrestling, I got to give some love to AEW for their final pay-per-view of the year. Great matches. I watched it in Hawaii on my iPad, sitting like with the ocean in front of me in this like lounge thing, right by the beach, man. It was so gorgeous. And I'm like, yo, what's prettier, professional wrestling or this view? I'll tell you what's prettier, professional fucking wrestling. That's what. I sat there and ignored the ocean, ignored the sea outside of the beautiful sounds and watched this with headphones on and then ordered a nice like food. I didn't day drink because I'm not a day drinker. I did order some food and I got a virgin pina colada. It was delicious. Watched some wrestling and it was great. MJF is why it was great, Jeff, because your favorite and my favorite in AEW, the best on the mic, has the world championship again. The Triple B, baby. The Triple B is back, Jack. And he's not going to lose it for a long ass time. The match was awesome. There were nuts that got punched. There were double lariats that got hit. Everybody got their shit in. It was really, really cool. And it set up like this free-for-all the following week on like who's going to be his next opponent. And we got that reveal as well, which is really cool because he ain't beating MJF. And we'll get into that too. All right, so here we go. Jon Moxley also won the Continental Championship, the Continental Classic. This was an awesome storyline that they did with Jon Moxley. He was losing matches. He was tapping out to Kyle O'Reilly on leg locks. He was tapping out to this dude. He was tapping out to your mother's sister. He was tapping out to everybody. And then he got the Continental Classic. And even though he lost, he cut this promo backstage where he was like, yo, man, I'm getting he's like, I call him the werewolf. And all his promos are very just sort of like a werewolf pacing back and forth. He can't hold still. And he's like, I've been beaten, but I'm not broken. And I'm coming back stronger than before. Because like metal reforged is stronger and a bone broken is stronger when it meant like he goes on this whole thing. And he didn't say any of that, but that was the gist of it. And he comes back and he wins all these matches and Okada's like cheats him and Kyle Fletcher almost died in the freaking match. It was one of the craziest matches I've ever seen. Jeff, you should watch that shit too because it was insane. And yeah, man, he won the Classic and cut this sick promo at the end, out of breath. We're the best in the fucking world because we're AEW and I'm Jon Moxley and you can sell. Like he was so badass and awesome. Oh, dude, I friggin' love Jon Moxley, man. Every month I like him more because he never takes a vacation, ever. I constantly hear, oh, he's going on vacation with his wife. They just had a baby. Nope, he's wrestling every day. Oh, he's been wrestling every day. They need a vacation. They're going to go to Bermuda. Nope, he's wrestling every day. He doesn't give a shit, dude.
Full-time
While you
guy.
were gone, we did like our awards for the new year, and the workhorse champion was Jon Moxley. So to see him win that tournament's greatest award after giving it, I was like, see, he is the workhorse champion. So I love Jon Moxley. I'm done gushing about him. Man crush. MJF came out, reintroduced the Triple B, threw that other bullshit away. Who wants that other bullshit when you could have a Triple B? He said he's going to keep the belt until he's the greatest of all time. Maybe a little jab at John Cena there. I don't know. But Kenny Omega suddenly appeared on the screen and the crowd went crazy and he called his shot. And he said, yeah, you might have beaten me before, but I'm a different man now. And I'm coming for that title. And MJF's like, yeah, you can come, bro, but I'm winning that shit again. I'll beat you 10 times out of 10. And then Hangman Adam Page came out. And Swerve came out in the stands, and everybody's after poor MJF, man. Why you guys all have to just wait your turn? Be respectable like he was. And then Samoa Joe comes out, and he's like, yo, F you guys to Swerve and Adam Page. And they get themselves into a championship match against the Ops for their belts. And Samoa Joe vows revenge on MJF. And all these storylines were going around. And there's storylines in AEW, and they were all getting told on Dynamite. And I was very, very excited because I love stories. And just like you guys, there's podcasts about Law and Order SVU. There's podcasts about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. All these podcasts exist because we love good stories, and we like getting told good stories with people that we like. And I liked all these people, and it was awesome, Jeff. What did you think?
Well,
Your
I'm a
boy's
big
back.
John Moxley
MJF's
guy.
back,
I'm a big, MJF guy, as you know. Like seems great. I got to check it out. I haven't seen it. Got to watch it. They make wrestling
It's
too hard
great
to watch.
live. By the way, it's so freaking hard to watch AEW on HBO Max. So freaking hard to find the latest episode. I have to pull off a friggin' magic trick and punch all these other episodes up until finally it pops up. It drives me crazy. That's more bitching. Sorry for doing it. I just had to let that out.
You're right. That's what I was about to complain about.
John Moxley choked out Josh Alexander because he's the man. Ricochet beat Jungle Jack Perry, and then they beat up Luchasaurus. He pulled Jack Perry's hair, and Jack Perry went to get revenge, Jeff, and he grabbed for Ricochet's hair, and his hand slipped off his bald-ass head, and Ricochet ran off the ropes and came in, and this time Jack, instead of grabbing for the hair, caught him by the beard and just slammed his face down to the ground. It was such a great spot.
It's hilarious.
Bless you 2 times, my man. You'll love that as well. Willow Nightingale defeated Mercedes Moné and became the new TBS champion. This was the woman that defeated Mercedes Moné in Japan and actually injured Mercedes for a long time. She's back on top. She has the belt, and now we'll get a story for Mercedes, which they've been building her up as Mercedes 500 belts. And now slowly the kingdom that she's built is being chipped away at, like that big castle in Lord of the Rings when all the orcs come and they're trying to take it out. Like, that's her, right? She's the king in the back, chilling, thinking she's got it made in the shade. Well, she doesn't, because now they found the weakness, and the weakness is the belts, and she's lost 2 now. She's going to lose more, and she's going to go on a historic losing trail, and she'll have to earn it all back, and then she'll come back as a babyface, and we'll all love her, and we'll go, see, they knew what they were doing the whole time. We're the assholes. Anyway, that better happen.
Yeah, what do you think
I'll
about
be
that?
pissed off.
Taking all the belts off her like that. Do you think it's
If they put the story around it, then it's great. If she's just losing them the way she was just winning them, then I'll be like, what the fuck, man? Give this girl a story. What do
thinking?
Yeah, well, hopefully they get it right. All right, you guys. Dynamite New Year's Smash got us to 2026. It's a new year. MJF is crowned and hunted. John Moxley's validated as the man. Ricochet is the evil man. Everybody's got the belts that's supposed to have the belts. WWE's kicking ass all the way to Berlin and back. Hopefully they'll make it easy for me to watch. I think that's on Friday. All of you guys enjoy. Jeff wishes you nothing but joy, success, and happiness. I wish you nothing but joy, success, and happiness. On behalf of Jeff, wishing you a happy, happy New Year. I'm Freddie, wishing you a happy, happy New Year. Hope you guys wish us a happy, happy New Year as well. Peace.